Okay. You
All
are
set?
all set, Art. Mhm.
All right, great, thank you, and welcome everyone to the January 18th, 2023 meeting of the Danbury Planning Commission. We will open with the roll call. Ms. Hofstetter,
Here.
Mr. Kiokio,
Here.
Mr. Sylvain.
Here.
At the moment, our alternate Kevin Haas is absent. When he comes in, Joanne, you let me know and I will seat him, and Chairman Finaldi is here. So we will not seat alternates at this time, but if and when Kevin comes in, Joanne, you let me know.
Yep.
The first item on our agenda, commission members, is acceptance of the minutes dated January 11th, 2023. Unless there's any discussion or corrections, I'll entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed?
Okay, Kevin's here.
Okay,
Letting him in. Wait a minute.
okay, let him in.
Kevin, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. So Arnie, he's all set now. You can seat him.
Okay, Mr. Haas is here and he will be seated as a regular member this evening for the open seat. So thank you, Kevin.
Thank you. Sorry about getting here a couple minutes late.
No problem at all. Okay, before we move into just actually one thing, the next regular meeting for the Danbury Planning Commission is scheduled for February 1st, 2023. And before we move into our regular agenda, I'll just read the virtual Zoom meeting intro. This meeting of the Danbury Planning Commission is being held on Zoom as a virtual meeting. Even though this meeting is a virtual meeting, members of the public and interested parties continue to have the opportunity to participate in the meeting in a couple of different ways. You can participate via Zoom and see the audio and the video, or you can call in by phone and participate via audio only. Please be aware that we may have to mute your microphone or telephone to avoid an echo or some other background noise. Instructions on how to participate in the meeting appear on the City of Danbury website, and all of the documents and materials that apply to the matters to be discussed during this meeting, including the agenda, are also available on the City of Danbury website. As always, if you have any questions regarding how to participate in the meeting, please contact the City of Danbury Planning and Zoning Department. As a reminder, the entire meeting will be posted on and can be seen on the City of Danbury website. We will follow the posted agenda as per standard practice. If prior to the meeting, any questions or comments on agenda items were submitted via email to the Planning and Zoning Department, those comments will be read during the appropriate portion of the meeting. Finally, please remember that technology glitches do sometimes occur. Please be patient if that happens. Commission members, we have no new public hearings this evening, so we will move straight to continuation of public hearings. Item 1, Sugar Hollow Associates LLC. Application for revised special exception, revised site plan approval for the quote shops at Marcus Dairy for 1 new standalone fast food restaurant, sections 5A 2B 16 with drive-through window, section 3E8, and 2 cumulative trip generation in excess of 500 vehicle trips per day, section 3E2 in the CG20 zone, 5 Sugar Hollow Road and Bacchus Avenue, G17002, special exception number 663. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor of this application? Dinas.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. It's the first time since last year we're meeting. Thank you for taking the time to hear what we have to present tonight. Although I think we'll keep it brief, but as a synopsis, at the last hearing, we had presented the application. There were some questions asked. I think we were able to respond to most, if not all. And since that night, we've received comments from all city review agencies. And we responded with revisions to our drawings. Nothing major, just little tweaks here and there. Which again we submitted, and then we were asked to make some additional tweaks just yesterday. to which we made those modifications as well. If you like, I can share a screen with you to show you, kind of go over what we did, if you like. And
It's your show, Dennis.
Hang on, wait a minute. I gotta let you, I have to let you do it.
yeah, okay.
Okay, you're all set now. Go ahead.
You make it sound like it's easy. It should be popping up on your screen.
It's there.
Ah, it's there.
Hooray. So hold on to your hats. I'm going to scroll in a little bit. Oops. Make it a little bit bigger. And hey. Okay, there it is. There was a pop-up that was blocking my controls at the top. So again, as you'll recall, this is the as you drive into the shops at Marcus Dairy off of Bacchus Avenue, we're proposing to relocate the existing Panera restaurant, which is located on this easterly end cap of the building, and put it onto its own pad site, which will allow for us to have drive-through lanes wrapping in a counterclockwise fashion around the building and then exiting back out to either the Bacchus Avenue exit or onto Sugar Hollow Road. The minor modifications that were requested from a planning as well as a traffic engineering standpoint included making some modifications to our drive-through lane, and that being we were a little bit shy of the 100 feet of stacking required from the order board position, to which we've made a modification to provide that 100 feet. In doing that, we eliminated a couple of parking spaces where I'm highlighting now. So instead of having 7 parking spaces in this location, we now have 5 parking spaces. There was a request that we designate, the quick pickup parking spaces, which are located on either side of the drive aisle or exit from the drive aisle. We were asked to provide a little emergency escape hatch from the pre-order quick drive-through lane, to which we've provided at this location here, which will be at the extreme south end of the pad site, which will allow people in this outer drive-through lane, which again is meant for people pre-ordering online and just zipping around to pick up. What it allows these quick lane people to escape should they not need to or decide not to proceed with that order. We also have incorporated some additional signage, and I'll zoom in a little bit more. Here we go. So we added some signage here at the drive-through, alerting folks at the drive-through window that there is a crosswalk here or a sidewalk here, and staff had requested that we put a pattern or make this crosswalk a bit more visible, to which we're proposing a stamped or textured feature of the concrete walk. Majority of the other comments that came in were primarily Scrivener's corrections and or addressing engineering comments to that degree. Not no showstoppers, what we would call. And again, we've resubmitted all of those items to staff for completion of the review. Several things I'll note. that we still have outstanding and to be submitted would be dressing up a little bit more of the Panera building itself. Planning staff had requested that we look to dress the building up so that it's presentable from all four sides, because the building will be able to be viewed from all four sides. So we're reaching out to the folks at corporate to provide guidance on that. We have yet to provide additional lighting or replacements for overhead lights that will be moved or relocated for this proposed asset. We also are in waiting for FAA review, to which it had slipped through the cracks here, in that we were delayed in getting building elevations, and that kind of pushed things off on our ability to submit to FAA. But that application was submitted, and we expect a quick response, similar to a quick response that we received for another site in Danbury that's within the not the approach zone, but in the transitional zones of the airport approach. One important thing to note, I think, that with respect to traffic, the city traffic engineer commented, and basically, to paraphrase, he said that there were no issues or no need for improvements on city streets, aside from, and no vehicular modifications to the plan aside from this proposed escape lane. I do have with us our traffic engineer, should the commission have any questions of the traffic engineer on the project. But that aside, we're happy to answer any questions that you might have regarding this presentation, or anything else that you might have or need me to offer. Thank you.
Commission members, any questions for Diana? Mr. Kiokio, go ahead.
I thought I saw in some of the correspondence that there was changes to some of the parking spots that needed to be angled. Am I correct in that? And can you show that if that's the case?
Yes, good observation. That was a comment that came from the city traffic engineer in relation to the stacking for the drive-through. It was suggested that we angle these 5 parking spaces to have them positioned in such a manner in which vehicles leaving these parking spaces would be required to exit out through the drive-through lanes. And and subsequent to us having made those modifications, it was then followed up with comments from planning staff to position those parking spaces back as they had initially been positioned, with the understanding that with the parking spaces being perpendicular, people parked here could have the option of exiting back out from from the direction they came, rather than committing themselves to a drive-through. So that's probably more words than necessary to describe that, but that's where you saw the angled parking comment.
Okay, so they won't be angled. They'll be straight as it's shown on the plan on the screen right now, and the
Correct.
customers will be able to exit either way, either through the drive-through or back out through the entrance area, if you will.
Correct. Gives a
Okay.
little bit more options.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
You're welcome.
Again, I just want to make sure, I can't see Kevin. So Kev, if you have any questions, you're just going to have to shout out, because unlike
Yeah.
Mr. Keo waving his hand a minute ago, I can't see you. So
Yeah, no, I had the same question we just went over. That was one of mine.
perfect. Is there anyone else that has a question for Dynas at this time? Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this application? Anyone else in favor? Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this application? Is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this application? Anyone in opposition? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this application? Jen, could you give us the summary on the approval from the FAA and Mike Safranek?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, thank you. We tried and Dynas and his team tried really hard to get everything set so we could close the hearing tonight. And as Ally and I were going through the file folder, we realized we didn't have Mike Safranek sign off, and then that led us to realize that we didn't have it, and Dynas followed up with Dynas, followed up with Mike Safranek, and he says, yeah, you absolutely need that determination letter from FAA. And then I followed up with Dynas, and that kind of brings us to now. So at this point, we don't have that required sign off for the airport administrator. Once the determination letter comes through, he'll then be able to review that information and make his determination. So it would be my recommendation that the commission continue. We've received the necessary extensions to bring us to, I believe, the March 1st meeting, because it will take, at least 2 weeks to get that letter from the FAA. So, at this point, this allows Dynas to resolve some of those outstanding issues, which includes the photometric plan, the additional renderings. We'd asked for an updated survey. So hopefully we'll have all of those issues resolved, as well as the FAA.
Okay. So everyone got that, where we have to keep the public hearing open. We have to get a letter back from the FAA, as Jennifer described. So unless there's anything else, commission members, I'll entertain a motion to continue this hearing until our next meeting.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The matter of Sugar Hollow Associates LLC will be moved to the agenda for our next meeting.
Thank
Okay.
you, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, Dynas. Take care. Under old business for discussion and possible action. Number 1, Ye Old Road LLC, application for special exception site plan approval for proposed commercial building for storage of building materials and construction equipment and outdoor storage of building materials and construction equipment, sections 3E4, 6A2B14, 6A2B15 in the IL40 zone, 2 Ye Old Road, E17066, special exception number 770. As noted on the agenda, commission members, note there will be no discussion or action taken at this meeting. So I will, unless there's any, I imagine the resolution on this matter will be forthcoming probably at our next meeting. So unless there's anything else, I'll entertain a motion to table this one until our next meeting.
Motion to table until next meeting.
Motion made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Mr. Sylvain. Okay, motion made and seconded to table this until our next regular meeting. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? This matter will be tabled until our next meeting. Item 2, Border LLC, The Botanist, application for special exception revised site plan approval to allow 1 cannabis hybrid retailer, sections 5B2B4 and 3C4, 2 trip generation in excess of 500 vehicle trips per day, section 3E2 in the CA80 zone, 105 Mill Plain Road, C14063, and all or a portion of C14064, special exception 790. Commission members, a resolution of approval with conditions dated January 12th, 2023 was previously distributed. And hopefully everybody had an opportunity to look at that. And Jen, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So there are a couple minor revisions. Attorney Mizuko brought to my attention we needed to tweak the resolution just a bit to acknowledge D&B Wellness LLC as the applicant. I believe right now, the resolution reads agent for the property owner. There's no reference to the applicant themselves. So in the first whereas on October 3rd, 2022, the city received an application from Ward Mizuko Esquire, agent for the applicant D&B Wellness LLC. So I've added that. And then I've added another whereas that says the property owner is Border LLC. And then I've added another whereas that says whereas D&B Wellness LLC proposes to conduct a cannabis hybrid retail facility on the subject property. And then one more on page 4, condition number 9, the very last sentence, the applicant for the cannabis establishment use D&B Wellness LLC shall be the licensee. So I just added that D&B Wellness LLC. Again, so there's no confusion who the applicant is and who the licensee is. They're one and the same. Okay, so those are the revisions. The resolution is fairly straightforward. The whereases, again, are standard, summarizes the process and all the information received. The conditions are generally the same. And I believe Attorney Mizuko noted before the close of the hearing that they did receive approval from the state. We left that in there just as a placeholder, just in case they needed to get additional approvals from the state. Number 4, and some of these same conditions are the ones that we'd had for the last cannabis application, which they'll sound familiar because, again, we're taking it straight from the zoning regulations. Number 4 limits the hours of operation 9 to 8, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 3 on Sundays. 5 conditions, the odor abatement program, property management program, and the security plan, again, tying it back to Exhibit A. 6 talks about reimbursement for traffic. Number 9, again, this has to do with submitting the license. 10, all work within the right-of-way has to be completed. And then 11 and 12 are standard conditions. Does anyone have any questions?
Any questions for Jen on the resolution? Okay. Well, I guess we're ready to move forward with a vote. I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution of approval with conditions as edited and revised this evening. Would anyone like to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Bob. Motion made. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. Thank you, Kevin. Is there any discussion at this time? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? The resolution of approval with conditions as revised is approved.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Attorney Mizuko. Have a good evening. Commission members, there were 2 items under referrals. The first one is an 824 referral, January 2023 City Council Agenda Item 5. Easement acquisition, Franklin Street extension for bridge replacement. We did get a report from the Planning and Zoning Department dated January 17th, 2023, which addressed both of these referrals. Jen, did you want to talk about the one on Franklin Street?
Sure. This is the bridge replacement over what's called the Mercer's Pond Brook. And it's right next to the oh my gosh, the golf course.
Ridgewood
Thank
Country.
you. I kept wanting to say Richter and I knew that wasn't right. The Ridgewood, thank you. So to be able to do that bridge work, it requires the acquisition of specific easements, which involve permanent and temporary easements to do that construction work. It affects 4 properties, which I've noted on here: 134 Franklin Street Extension, 132, 119 to 135, and 137 Franklin Street Extension. The easements are required to construct and maintain the bridge, the wall, sidewalk, roadway embankment, and temporary construction easements. Staff has no objection. subject to submission of all plans and documents deemed acceptable to DPW and the Office of Corporation Counsel.
Any questions for Jen on this one? Pretty straightforward, nice and simple. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for a positive referral.
I'll make a motion for positive referral for the easement acquisition on Franklin Street Extension for the bridge replacement.
Thank you, Helen. Do I hear a second? Second, Mr. Sylvain. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? The 824 referral for the easement on Franklin Street Extension gets a positive referral. The second one, number 2, 824 referral, January 2023 City Council Agenda Item 6, easement acquisition, Shelter Rock Road for a bridge replacement. Got a lot of bridges being replaced these days around the city, huh, Jen?
Yes,
This one looks a lot like the other one. Go ahead.
it is. This is Shelter Rock Road. This is, let's see, just, I don't know if it's east of Captain's, the Montessori School, right before Cross Street, right at that bridge. And again, this is over the Simpog Brook. And we know that that whole area sees quite a bit of flooding, so I'm sure replacement of the bridge will improve some of that situation down there with flooding in the road. Again, the work is to replace the bridge, requires acquisition of the same types of easements that I mentioned for Franklin Street. And again, in the 4 properties identified, 48 Shelter Rock, 50 Shelter Rock, 85 Shelter Rock, and an unnumbered Shelter Rock Road. Easements are relatively the same. Staff has no objection, subject to submission of all plans and documents deemed acceptable to Public Works and Corporation Council.
Thank you, Jennifer. Questions for Jennifer on the second 824 referral? If there aren't any, I'll entertain a motion for a positive referral on this one as well.
I'll make a motion for a positive referral.
Thank you, Mr. Kiokio. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it again.
I think that was Mr. Haas seconding it. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? This 824 referral, Shelter Rock Road Bridge replacement also gets a positive referral. Thank you, everybody. Okay, under new business, you'll see 2 items for future meetings. They're both 838 referrals. We have nothing under correspondence. Going to other matters for discussion and possible action. Item 1, discussion and possible action on A, request from Attorney Neil Marcus to extend the approval of Savannah Hills re-subdivision, 193-207 Great Plain Road, SUB number 0609, re-subdivision, and B, issuance of proposed notice of expiration of re-subdivision. As shown on your agendas, there will be no discussion or action taken at this meeting. So unless there's anything else, commission members, I will entertain a motion to table this until our next meeting.
A motion to table.
Motion made, looks like a second by Mr. Sylvain. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? The matter of Savannah Hills will be tabled until our next meeting. A few things under there for reference only. And that is it. I get the feeling I'm forgetting something. Jen, are we okay here?
We are fine.
Okay, good. Good. We like that. All right. Commission members, unless there's anything else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr.
I'll make that
Chairman,
motion.
Ah,
second.
Come to make that motion. Okay. Well, Mr. Kiokio and Mr. Sylvain seconded it. Any further discussion?
Nope.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, Mr. Kiokio. There better be some good news on that television when I get home. On men's basketball team playing. I want a big win tonight.
I'm not going to say anything.
All right, everybody. Thank you. Well done. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks,
Aye.
everyone.
Aye.
See you next month.
okay.